Welcome to Missing the Magic, your husband and wife Disney duo. Michelle is the pixie dust optimist, cheering for warm churros and stunning fireworks. Joe is the grumpy realist, calling out lines and prices that miss the mark. We give credit where Disney makes magic and call them on it when they don't. From parks to cruises, films, and food, clear takes and sharp laughs await. Skip the fluff, keep the fun, and get tips for a smoother trip. Grab your ears, bring your backpack, and let's find the magic together.
So we're back for episode 8.
Yes.
So we've walked through all of our 7 days on the cruise in our previous episodes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we had so much material left over that we had to...
Stuff we didn't really get to go do a deeper dive into.
Right. So we didn't do a lot of deep dives into the walkthrough. So we're going to do a deep dive today into the Haunted Mansion parlor. Which
I know, shocking that we're doing that.
Which was the number one reason we actually booked the cruise on the Treasure,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
was because of the Haunted Mansion parlor. Was
Yeah.
it worth it?
Yes.
Totally
I think
worth
so.
it.
I definitely
I
think
agree.
so. Yeah.
There were areas for improvement. But,
Absolutely.
But, you know, we definitely enjoyed our time there. We enjoyed the theming to it. So the Haunted Mansion parlor itself has its own story,
right.
which is kind of interesting. And the story itself is different than the one from the actual Haunted Mansion. So it's about a sea captain and his wife, and about their untimely death, I suppose we could say.
Yeah, I'm not sure who actually...
She killed him.
Oh, she did?
Yeah. They proved it.
Really?
I watched that episode of Matlock.
Yeah, but she was also a mermaid.
Right.
So there's that.
She was like a transformer. She was more than meets the eye.
Right. So where in Haunted Mansion Ride, the bride who's human, because of the nautical theme, she's a mermaid. Where Medusa is the one character that you see in the changing portraits and witches. In the Haunted Mansion parlor, she's a siren.
Right.
So a lot of the characters kind of overlap each other, but are a little different.
Right. You have some overlap. You have some substitutions.
Right.
The overall theming, it's unmistakable that it's the Haunted Mansion.
Right.
Even though it's a different story. And it's really, the way they kind of build it is it's an extension of the Haunted Mansion story. Just like all the other Haunted Mansions, your Phantom Manor, your, what was the Tokyo one?
Oh, jeez. Now I can't think of it.
Yeah. Because I'm asking you pretty on the spot.
Mystic Manor.
Mystic Manor. So they're all their own individual stories, but they all kind of,
Right, they have some sort of thread that runs across. And Leota's here, too, so, she's a Haunted Mansion cast.
Right.
She
Exactly. She knew it was her time to
knew
shine.
the theming was here.
So you have the ocean liner captain, you have his bride, and apparently there is a floating hat in the aquarium, and you'll see the aquarium as the video gets to it. And that floating hat in the aquarium is supposed to signify his death at the hands of the monster. So the aquarium itself does have a tentacled monster on it that was originally a Rolly Crump idea for the Museum of the Weird.
Right, and that's one of the other things, too, is that there are a lot of things throughout the parlor that you look at and go, it's a little creepy.
Yep.
And it's because those were all inspired by the Museum of the Weird aspects.
Right,
From Rolly
and
Crump.
one of them was a tribute to him, actually. It's a combination, so it's a bust of Raleigh, but it's based on the melting wax figure from his original ideas, which was really neat. And then in the aquarium itself, you've got little ghost fish that pop up and they'll swim around in there, and they're one of the most convincing effects I think that we've ever seen. It's not even, like you have a lot of Pepper's ghost stuff that goes on in the miniature itself. This is beyond that. It's a technology beyond that, which is really neat to see.
And the fish aren't always there, which I think is hysterical too.
And you get different fish at different times. So it's a very realistic feel to dead fish, I guess.
Sure, we'll go with that.
So it is a parlor, a lounge. So there are drinks. There are a number of different drinks. What did we get?
So we did. I think we did the Happily Never After and the Refugees Beyond,
Right.
I believe, or maybe we did the Final Vow. I don't remember which one now.
I think it was the ones you said, Regions and Happily. So we did it specifically to get the tikis. They had not unique, exclusive tikis.
They're limited edition. I believe the plan is obviously to come out with more later on. So this was the first series that came out.
Right.
So one is the Mariner that comes with a swizzle stick.
Swizzle stick, yeah.
That's his harpoon, and then the other is the Bride.
Right. So that was the first night we were in there, and the sticker shock was so overwhelming. It was $141 for the 2 drinks and the 2 tikis. So be aware of that.
Yeah.
And then the menu itself has a secret menu, which is no longer a secret, really. So all the menus are done on iPads, and they're done up in a very classic Gothic look to it. If you take the menu and you turn it from landscape to portrait mode, you get a different menu, and there's a puzzle that you have to solve. And each night, it's a different puzzle.
Right. But the drink that is offered after you solve the puzzle is the same drink, no matter what night it is that you're in.
Right, and that is the chilling challenge, right?
Yes.
Comes in a really cool Gothic, what are they, gargoyle holder?
Yeah, it's the bat holder that we were trying to steal.
Right.
That we didn't steal. Just saying.
And they don't sell it.
And they don't sell it.
Even if you break it, they don't sell it to you, unfortunately. We asked.
Yeah,
we wanted to bring it home. Yeah. And I'm trying to find, if anyone happens to find one that's available, a 3D model of it, drop a note in the comments so I can find it and print it out, because I'd really like to actually
print one out.
Yeah, now I lost my notes, so I don't know. It's there.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. What else? So outside of the Haunted Mansion, there is a number of exclusive merchandise pieces.
Not many, but there's enough.
And they're expensive enough to justify the few. So
make sure you have plenty of room to get them home.
So outside of the tiki mugs, they had a snow globe that was designed based on the aquarium.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They had a mirror.
Right, that has the hitchhiking ghost.
Yep, it has a light-up effect on it. Mm-hmm. And they had the box. So there's a box that's in there that from what I understand, the box itself is an element from
Mystic Manor.
Mystic Manor.
Correct.
That they have here in a glass case, and it animates when it goes through, when they go through the show.
Right.
So that's available. Now, the pro tip here is they don't have the boxes, at least when we were there, they don't have the boxes out available to grab because there was a print error or something on the boxes. So they'll sell them to you, but you get them just in the packing material.
Right.
Which is very un-Disney-like.
Yeah, very, very weird.
I'd rather that than not be able to get it.
Yeah.
So we're obviously going to have pictures of all that stuff because we got it all and miraculously figured out how to get it home.
Yes. Thank you to Deanne.
Yes. Again, we seem to be thanking her a lot.
And the last item is the mantle clock.
Oh, right. I almost forgot the mantle. So there's a mantle clock that's above the fireplace.
Right.
And they sell a replica of that you can take home as well. So it is a family-friendly environment up until 9 o'clock, so you will see a lot of kids in there.
Right.
Which to me was a drawback. Like, I understand the kids want to experience it too, but like the kid cutoff should be like the first dinner. The kids want to go in there. It opens relatively early.
Yeah,
you go in there.
Noon, so.
And after dinner, when people want to go get a drink, that's when the kids shouldn't be allowed in there anymore. It's small.
Yes.
It's very small for as popular as it is, and I think that's probably my biggest complaint to Disney.
Right, and that was actually when I realized how small it was. And the other thing, too, was I think planning before the cruise and hearing about it, hearing how small it was, we kind of already knew it wasn't a very large room.
Right.
The other thing, too, was that it was going to kind of cycle through a show. It kind of gave me, or the impression that I had was at Galaxy's Edge, Olga's, where you can't stay there for a long period of time. You basically go and, 45 minutes.
They cycle you in and
They cycle you in and out.
Quickly.
So that's what I was almost expecting.
And kind of afraid that they would do that.
Right. So I was thinking, are we even going to get in it? If we do get in, are we going to get moved out rather quickly? And are we going to be able to go every night? Is it going to be one of those things where, okay, you could only go 2 nights out of the 7? Or so that's what I was kind of worried about, was not going more.
Well, and I
than
think part of the reason it's so crowded is because they don't put those restrictions on.
Right.
So there are times you'll walk in and it's standing room only. And you've got, if you're sitting at the bar, you've got people standing right behind you there getting drinks and stuff like that. So it's cramped. So we had to come up with a strategy for what we were going to do.
And I think it also wasn't necessarily because there's so many bars, so many other places to go where, like, even the Scat Cat Lounge has the lounge inside, has the bar, has a bar on the outside. So if you just want to go and get a drink and leave and walk around, you can do that. The Haunted Mansion parlor wasn't like that. It wasn't let me just grab a drink and go. It was staying for the show, staying for the atmosphere, even though it wasn't like there was a performer going on.
The room is the performance, and
definitely the show.
What was really nice, and this was not part of the design, what was really nice was if you sit at the bar, the bartender at the time, Himmi, had props.
Right.
So you could do the ringing of the bell and the tambourine and banging on the... And that was one of the things that was the coolest to me.
Right.
You became part of the show.
Right, and as we kind of mentioned before, it almost was a very Rocky Horror Picture Show aspect of you could just kind of sit and watch, or here's your way to participate. So that was interesting, and like you said, it was its own show, and I'm glad that we stuck it out and we kept going back and trying.
So the show itself is about 20 minutes total, but it's broken up over an hour.
Right.
So the room will light up, it'll do a little scene, it'll stop, and then 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, it'll go into the next one. So what was happening was people would come in, it would do a 5-minute routine, they'd watch the portraits animate, or they'd watch the mirror. So the portraits are on one side of the room, the mirror's behind the bar on the other side. Those are the two probably prominent things that are the focus of your attention. So people would come in, they'd watch a 5-minute sequence, and then they'd walk out, not knowing that there was more to the show.
Right, they would think that was it, and they were done, and they'd move on.
The other interesting thing is, if you go in to watch the show, you have to sit at various places around the bar, around the lounge, because it's a different experience depending on where you sit.
Right, because even the side where the box is the trinket box, and there's music instruments, and there's things that light up and kind of move around from there. But if you're sitting and the wall's right here, you can't see it, so you have to kind of be sitting across from it. So it is one of those things, if you're into the Haunted Mansion and you want to experience it, move yourself around. You know, maybe one night sit one place, one night sit another, or
one night we moved around to like 5 spots just to see it all.
And that was the other thing too, is look to see where there's a seat available. And
so our trick was, we had the early dinner, so we would get out of dinner, we'd mill about in the main atrium grand hall for a little while everyone else was waiting for dinner or for the shows or whatever. 8:30 was when we'd go in, and that would be right about the time everyone was filing out to go to the next dinner.
Right.
And you have about a 45-minute window where you pretty much had the place largely to yourself, which was when it was really special.
Right.
If you are epileptic or prone to seizures, do not go in there.
Yeah. With all the flashing lights and everything.
Flash galore.
Yeah.
If you're in there for an extended period of time, you'll probably get a headache. I don't know how the bartenders do it. They must rotate the bartenders.
Could be, yeah.
Sounds about right.
So the bar is the place to be. There's plenty of seating.
Unless you don't like being picked on. That's...
Well, yeah. And again, that's based on the bartender. So I don't know if you're going to have that same experience elsewhere.
Right, because Hemmy was definitely the ringleader, I would say.
Absolutely.
He was the one that was definitely instigating a lot, but Philip, he was right behind.
Instigating. We don't mean like they're being mean and nasty. They're
It's
playing up.
absolutely-
Like when you go to the Haunted Mansion at the parks, all of the butlers, all of the staff of the mansion are all deadpan. They're all, sarcastic humor type stuff, stuff like, and he took that, but he took that to a level that, because of the interaction, was just so cool. It really was. It was like the best experience of anything, I think, on the cruise itself. Don't try to order a beer, because the beers are always warm. They use these tiny kegs that they don't pre-chill. They don't pre-chill their mugs. I don't know if they're trying to get you to not drink the beer and to drink the more expensive drinks, but you can get non-alcoholic drinks.
Right.
We went up getting a one mocktail, and I just described that because that was hilarious.
That was interesting. I don't even remember what it's called. Did you ever find it?
I didn't find it.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was very purple.
Yep.
I know it had oat milk and something else. And when I tasted it, I'm like, what? Why does this taste familiar? And it tasted like any of you that, would have cereal as a kid, and you'd have an excess of sugary milk when you were done, and you would drink that milk. That's exactly what this drink tasted like.
It was a surprisingly familiar and comfortable taste.
Okay. Never would have thought to make it. So we have to look up. I'm sure we can find the recipe online for it. But that was an interesting drink, because I don't drink a lot of alcohol except on the cruise. I had more than I probably have in a year.
Easily. Yeah.
Same with you.
Yeah.
But it was just, part of the fun. They have some interesting sodas that you can get.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know if you wouldn't shake them up, but
yeah,
you mix them up and they have this
like
visual
lava
effect to them,
lamp.
lava lamp.
Yeah, some lava lamp look to it. So that was kind of interesting. And then there are certain drinks that they have that have the light up ice cubes.
Boy, they were giving the cubes away like candy.
Yeah, we ended up with like 4 of them at one point.
They have their edible straws, which I thought were just disgusting.
But that's all on the ship. Edible straws everywhere, because that's the only type of straw that they use. So even if you get like a regular soda, you're getting this coffee flavored or candy flavored soda. Kind of weird, but the kids really loved them. That's for sure.
That's true.
There were parents that were posting about, hey, if you go on Amazon, you can buy a case of them if your kids want them.
So if you go in there, you have to sit in the Donald Duck chair, which is a replica of the one from the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
There's a special effect to that, and I won't spoil it for anybody.
Right. So there is something, you just gotta, and it's one of those things you have to sit there for a little while. So don't just sit there and expect something to happen and get a
It has
relief.
nothing to do with butterflies, like Earl thought. Earl sat in the chair and he thought he was seeing butterflies. It's not butterflies.
No, it has nothing to do with butterflies. But supposedly there were other areas of the bar that if you sat and paid attention to.
I was too poor to pay attention. I paid for a Disney cruise.
Yeah. So there are other areas that supposedly there were some Easter eggs that would pop up. As well.
Really, you have to sit at the bar because the mirror itself is the central point. It's almost like a movie screen.
Right.
And it's a cool 3D effect on there. You get a lot of familiar things. You're going to see the changing portraits. You're going to see the needlepoint. What was it? The home suite or tomb sweet tomb.
Right.
You're going to see the hitchhiking ghosts. It's going to be stuff that's a little bit different but very familiar. And the best way that I think was able to describe it was like when you're on the Haunted Mansion and the ride stops. I'm never in a good spot. I'm usually looking at a wall or a door or an exit sign or something.
Right.
This is like
You always want to be stuck in the ballroom scene.
right, or in the Madame Leota seance room.
Right, or in the graveyard
Right.
with a whole bunch of ghosts in front
But
of you.
this was like when the ride stopped and you were in the best possible spot and you got to sit and enjoy it.
And there have been other people that I've seen that posted or commented that that was the same thing. It was, if you were stuck on the Haunted Mansion ride, this is what it would look like.
Right.
So,
And that's what it is. And interact with your wait staff. Interact with your bartenders, with your waiters. They are excellent. They get you involved. They're attentive like you wouldn't believe to make sure that everything that you want is taken care of. But it's immersive. And when you interact with them, you become part of that. And you became a permanent part. Why don't you talk about that?
so the last night of the cruise, they bring out this very large bound book. Almost looks like a scrapbook, I guess.
Right.
And it's blank pages. And what they do is they allow guests who, have become family to write some parting words in the book. So by the last night, pretty much everybody that was there, we had been there throughout the entire time. So it was very sweet that they brought the book out and they asked me and other people that we were with as well to sign the book. So that was very touching.
Yeah.
I actually kind of got a little, teary-eyed, like, aw, this was sweet.
Yeah. The recognition, I think, is
Right.
because everyone didn't get it. It was just the people that really, by the end of the cruise, had been dedicated. I mean, it literally felt like walking into Cheers,
Right, yeah.
especially when Evil Frank walked
When
in.
Evil Frank would walk in, shout out to Evil Frank.
Evil Frank would walk in and he'd come in with his squid hat on and he'd get a shout out as soon as he walked in, like it was Norm. It was
Right,
awesome.
it was great, where they might not have known certain people's names, but they recognized you.
Yes, you were evil in the house.
I was always evil in the house. Oh, there's evil in the house, evil in the house.
Yeah, and he hates you so much.
And I hate you so
I
much.
hate you so much.
And that's, and that was the phrase that, as we mentioned in other podcasts, instead of, have a great night, see you later, it was, I hate you so much,
Yeah.
I hate you too. And what's funny is when you post on, the Facebook groups and somebody says, oh, I hate you so much, everybody
You know
knows
exactly what they're talking about.
Who they're
And
talking to.
that was all him. He was
Yeah.
a personality. I
Right.
mean, he was like a ringleader in there.
But then Philip,
Philip?
I
Philip
yelled,
got a little fresh for a while there. He chimed in.
right, he was coming into his own because I think he was kind of afraid.
I think the folks that were at the bar were helping him open up a little bit.
Right. And that was one of the things. So the one evening, I don't know if we talked about it before, we might have, where my purse incident. I'm just sitting there, blah, 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 talking with our friends, Tracy and Earl, and whatever, and all of a sudden, I finally realized that my purse is not sitting where I left it.
And that panic on your face was totally worth it.
And I was like, oh my God. And I knew I hadn't gotten up. I was pretty sure I wasn't that drunk where I lost it, because I had my wallet in there and, my phone or something. And then these guys are giggling. And I'm like, why are you laughing? And finally Tracy's like, Philip has it. I'm like, and the mom voice comes out. I'm like, Philip! And he just looks, I'm like, where's my purse? And he's like, here we go.
Yeah.
And it had been like 20 minutes from when he had taken it. So that's how oblivious, but how much fun I was having. And so I think after that night, Philip, then I started taking stuff. Because I was sitting at the bar and there were things next to me. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to start taking stuff. And I
took the whole thing of straws.
Straws, the one. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take the straws. And I just had it next to me. It wasn't like I hid it.
Right.
And then the little smoking gun that I took the one time. And
they do love their smoking guns. Because one of the drinks that they serve it in a box. And as they open the box, all the smoke comes out. So they have a gun to fill the smoke up, which is always kind of neat.
Yeah, so that was... a good experience. So I kind of, in a way, feel bad for the people that went on the cruise the week after we did, because Hemmy ended up moving to a different bar. He was at the Rose doing a training session. So I don't know what the experience was like at the Haunted Mansion without
I'm sure
Hemmy
it was
there.
still wonderful. It just wasn't that extra special.
Right. But from what I saw on Facebook, Hemmy is now back at the Haunted Mansion parlor. He finished his training session. I guess he's on to his next training bout. So for those of you, going anytime soon, hopefully he'll be there for you to see.
If you see him, tell him the Whalen said hi. We when we left last night, we had printed a bunch of decorations for our door, magnets for our door, and most of what we had you brought into the mansion to give out.
Didn't want to pack it to take home. That was really what it came down to. I was trying. I figured we were going to either give it away to other guests that were on the cruise. I wasn't quite sure. I figured I would just kind of lay the stuff out and see who took it.
Right.
And a bunch of the guys, the bartenders, actually.
Philip was really touched that we thought that much to bring it down.
And we had already given Philip and Hemmy little gifts.
Little gift bags that we had made up with extra money in there for them and stuff.
Right. So here it was extra Haunted Mansion-y stuff.
Yeah,
for them.
That was one of the things that totally made the trip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But had we not stuck it out, had we not sat at the bar,
right,
I would have been very disappointed.
I think we would have had a completely different experience. We would have. So if we had sat in other places of the bar, it would have been like, yes, we were stuck on the Haunted Mansion and experienced different things. Sitting at the bar, we felt like we were part of the mansion.
Absolutely.
We were part of, anytime you go to Disney or any theme park that has some sort of interactive show where they call people up to be part of the show, that's what it also reminded me of. Without asking for volunteers, you sitting at the bar.
Yep.
Again, if you didn't want to.
Nothing was forced fun. You didn't feel uncomfortable.
Right.
It was such a natural feeling. And they did such a great job of just blending people into the experience itself.
Yep.
And, you know, you participated in a few other things on the cruise. And it wasn't like that, though.
Right.
Like, these guys made it probably one of the most unique experiences I think I've ever had.
Right. Yeah.
The closest thing I think to this was when the camera broke for us in Epcot and the cast members played Duck, Duck, Goose with our daughter.
Yeah.
Where it was just so above and beyond.
It was that pixie dust bullshit.
Yeah, it was. It was like when they talk about Disney magic, the Haunted Mansion with Himmi was Disney magic, where you came in with an expectation and your expectation was just totally blown away.
Absolutely. I just wanted to sit and watch everything.
Yeah.
That was really what.
And the people. It wasn't just like the room itself. Like the people, the way they interacted with Himmi and the rest of the staff, the way the staff reacted and acted with us, that entire thing was 50% of the experience itself.
Yeah.
The room was cool, you know, don't get me wrong, go and see it.
Absolutely.
But, you know, interact with the staff. That was, until we did that, we didn't really experience it.
Right.
And it's beautifully done. You know, considering the fact that our living room is entirely done as Haunted Mansion, it was a very comfortable, familiar feeling.
It felt like it was a home away from home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So they did a very good job with that. I mean, if I decorated a Haunted Mansion parlor, that's exactly how I would do it.
Yeah. And what is kind of nice in some respects is Destiny, the new ship, has a Haunted Mansion parlor. From what we understand, it is exactly the same. They didn't change anything, which it would have been nice if there would be some little differences to it to kind of differentiate the two.
Like I had pointed out, that, you know, when you see that bust of Raleigh, it feels like a tribute to him. When you go into the next one and the same bust is there, it kind of cheapens that tribute. Like, it should have been a different thing that they could have done.
And it could have been a different Imagineer.
Right.
Because you have so many Imagineers that helped with the Haunted Mansion.
Right.
So it would have been nice maybe if they did, you know, a little bit different. But the other thing, too, is on the Destiny, they're going to have wedding packages now for the Haunted Mansion parlor. So,
which is probably going to be more than the cruise itself.
Probably. So
we won't be doing that anytime soon. Hence why we booked the fantasy.
Yeah. So
Appreciate.
So, what else? What else did we miss? The decanters behind the bar. That looked
nice.
like potions. That was cool.
Yeah, that was a nice little touch. So you don't have your traditional alcohol bottles, you know, behind the bar with the various drinks. They're all the same looking decanters with little labels on them.
Oh, and your MagicBand Plus, bring it with you when you're here, because there is interactions in the parlor, but when you walk out, there's an interaction with the mirror when you walk out, and we won't spoil that, but make sure you have your MagicBand Plus with you while you're in there.
Yeah, honestly, would we have gone and gotten a MagicBand Plus just for it? Probably not. So if you already have a MagicBand Plus, definitely bring it with you, because the other thing too is you don't need to use your Key to the World card if you have your MagicBand. They're basically one or the other. So even when getting off and on the ship, if you have the band, they'll just scan it. The other thing too is there were different games going on the ship that you had to use your MagicBand for.
We probably could have that on one of the episodes.
Did we?
Yeah.
So you probably could have used your card, but they had a Haunted Mansion game that became active. So I think that might have only been for Halloween. Though.
Right. It was
that
just for the
Halloween
on the High Seas cruise.
Right. So that was fun to play. So that kind of tied in my Haunted Mansion experience, I guess.
Yeah, it was very well done, and I can't say enough. A total love fest for Himmi and Philip and all the other staff there.
Yeah.
They took what was a disappointing first night going in there and completely turned it around and became the highlight of the entire cruise. We couldn't wait to go back. We would get done dinner, and we're like, all right,
Yeah, we were like
we'll
little
meet you guys
kids.
at the Haunted Mansion, you know?
And that's the thing is because like our friends, there might have been like a trivia or something that was going on at 8 o'clock, or even the show. And
Yeah, we didn't even go to the Beauty and the Beast show because
yeah,
we
well,
went back to
and
the...
I wanted to go to the Beauty and the Beast show, but I didn't feel like fighting with
Yeah,
all the
it was
people.
too crowded.
So that's a whole other gripe that I'm sure we'll get into.
That'll be the Bitch Fest episode.
Yeah, that's the Bitch Fest episode. But like I did the fireworks. It was pirate night, and a lot of people had already left. And because of Hemmy and his recommendation
Yep.
of what to do for the fireworks, I'm like, all right, I'll go do the fireworks. And I think by that point, we were done for the night. We didn't go back, but we probably could have.
I stayed.
Well, no, you stayed at the parlor, I'm saying,
Right.
but then we ended up meeting back. We never actually closed out the parlor.
No, because I was too drunk.
You were too drunk by then.
And I had to
Right.
leave.
So, and they're open till 12, so it's not like a typical 2 o'clock.
Right. It's
last
not
call.
An inhuman.
Right. So all the bars close at 12, but I don't think any of the nights we.
Oh, that's
we
the
did
other thing
that.
worth mentioning is the photo ops.
Yes.
So why don't you talk about that real quick?
So when you book your cruise and you're getting closer and you see all the different activities and things that you can sign up for, pay for, whatnot, one of the things that they offer is a photo package at the Haunted Mansion, and it's $400 for 20 minutes, and it only includes 5 photos. I had a very hard time justifying the price tag for
Right.
what it was. And we had been talking, well, it's an experience. This is, we're in our experience phase. This is a once in a lifetime thing. Well, then we found out that on certain days, they will do a open photo.
So days at sea, right?
Yeah, it's your days at sea. So they did it twice or 3 times.
They did
while
it
we
3
were-
times for
They did it
us.
3, so we only did it
Twice. You did it
Twice.
once, then you and I both did it.
right. So
And that was when I dropped my mug and spilled it all over the place.
and broke it.
Yeah.
So our second day on the cruise, first day technically at sea, in the morning. So it's on. When you log on to the Navigator app, it's there. So set yourself a reminder. The first day
You don't have to book it, and you don't
right.
have to
You
pay
just have
for
to
it.
show. Yeah, it's free. So if you end up doing the Photo Pass package, all your photos are
Right.
included. Or if you don't get the Photo Pass package, you can buy the pictures individually. So when you book the photo shoot, you're there for 20 minutes. I have no idea how many pictures they take. I can only imagine a lot within 20
for
minutes.
20 minutes for that much, they better take a lot.
Right. But you only get, like I said, the 5 included. I went the first day, and I ended up being, what was I? I was
Like second or third in line. weren't
yeah,
you?
something. I was one of the first
You got
people.
there some ridiculous early time.
Well, I think I only got there like 15 or 20 minutes early, because that was the other thing, too. And this is what
We got to wrap up.
Okay. This is what I hate, is that, with all of these things, here's the start time, but you have to get there an hour before, or you have to get there half hour before, or whatever it is. So I decided I was up, let me go, and got in, and ended up getting 5 photos, because they do one with each of the hitchhiking ghosts, and then like 2 others. So like 5 or 6 photos are part of your little mini session.
Right.
And it was free. And then the next day, we went.
So the photos are free because we had the photo package.
Right, we had the photo package. But then the next day we went, we were a little bit further back in line. But move rather
very fast,
quickly. And again, the same 5 photos. We were thinking maybe it would be a little different, but you know what? I was happy and loved the photos.
So bottom line, how do you rate it?
13 out of 10.
I think that's probably fair. Mostly because of Himmi and the staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do it, enjoy it, interact with the staff, sit at the bar.
Sit at the bar.
I cannot emphasize that enough.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's it for this episode.
Okay.
All right.
That's a wrap on this episode of Missing the Magic. If you enjoyed the mix of cheers and critiques, follow the show. Leave a quick rating and share it with a fellow fan. Have a question, hot take, or park hack we should try? Send it our way at comments@insightsintothings.com. Or call it and leave us a voicemail at 856-403-8788. Thanks for listening, and thanks to Disney for the memories worth talking about. Keep your ears handy, bring your backpack, and we'll meet you back here for more Missing the Magic.